Although Robert Saleh being the new defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions was a long shot, we could all hope. And with the departure of Aaron Glenn, Saleh was a guy that we were looking at I've been looking at him for a long time. And when he got fired, I was hoping that he would stay on the market until the Detroit Lions inevitably parted ways with Aaron Glenn, and maybe we could take a look at him. But it looks like that is going to be not the case now. This is coming from Tom Pelissero. I'm making this video because I'm reading my comments. I told y'all I'll read the comments, and a lot of people are disappointed that Robert Saleh is no longer on the market. Tom Pelissero says, reunion. After interviewing for 3 head coaching jobs, Robert Saleh is now officially returning to the 49ers as defensive coordinator per sources. Saleh impressed in interviews and now is back in a familiar place with a chance to become a hothead coaching candidate again in 2026. So it looks like this might be a 1-year deal. Now, my thinking is he did not want to take a coordinator position outside of the San Francisco 49ers. He wanted to be a head coach, had interviewed for the Jacksonville Jaguars, amongst other places, and then came back home. Very similar to how our old coach went back to his old coach, his old home, after he was relieved of his duties here in Detroit. Now, this sucks because I believe that Robert Saleh would really turn this defense around, not only with the players that we have coming back from injury, but coming back with the draft picks and free agency. And I think that he would have had a lot of input, even though it's Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes' ultimate decision. I think Saleh would have had an input, a big input on the players that we brought in. But here's why this would have been a big deal for the Detroit Lions. Says Saleh, 45, this is coming from Bleacher Report, spent the past 4 seasons as the head coach of the New York Jets. Him and Dan Campbell were actually hired at the same time. I believe that Saleh either turned down the job for the Detroit Lions or never interviewed, but I think he turned down an interview, and then ultimately that led to Dan Campbell. He went 20-36. He was saddled with poor quarterback play in the first 3 seasons and was fired just 5 games into the 2024 season when he finally had a healthy Aaron Rodgers. The Jets went 3-9 with their interim head coach. Check this out, though. As a defensive coordinator or head coach, his defenses have finished top 10 in yards allowed 5 times, top 10 in points allowed twice, and top 10 in takeaways twice. Robert Saleh would have been enough to really, really help this team. Truly believe that. Truly believe that. And I know we interviewed Larry Foote for defensive coordinator. I think it wouldn't have done us any harm, but that's, of course, if Robert Saleh wanted to interview with the Detroit Lions, especially with the ties from before. And like I said, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say he turned down the job. We didn't interview. I can't remember because that's when Mike Vrabel, Robert Saleh, those guys were available, and we went with Dan Campbell. I remember being surprised by hearing that he didn't want the job, meaning Robert Saleh. So anyway, this is not a surprise that he went back to the defensive coordinator position. It's kind of funny how he was the defensive coordinator. He got a job, head coaching job. DeMeco Ryans becomes the coordinator after he replaces him. He gets a head coaching job. Would not be surprised if Robert Saleh goes to get a job in 2026. One of the places he could go is the Cincinnati Bengals. Keep an eye on that. Their defense is horrid, and Zach Taylor may be fired if this team cannot get to the playoffs or get a playoff win. So it kind of sucks. I think that the Detroit Lions, the fact that they're interviewing outside of the organization, I think it could be a guy that we could see. I mean, could we get a guy like Dennis Allen? I know there's a guy that I talked to, a good friend of mine. He wouldn't mind Dennis Allen. Rex Ryan is a name that people are throwing around. His son, I believe, works with our team, and that would be something. That would be something. Rex Ryan, you never know, man. He hasn't coached in a while, and he could be something that could give a spark to the guys on the sideline. Going to be intriguing to see how we ultimately fill that position. I have a feeling it's either going to be, I don't think it's going to be Calvin Shepard. I feel like it's going to be a name, an outside name, but it's not going to be anybody we know. It's going to be some quarterback coach or some wide receiver coach from a different team. I just don't see them making any moves for a name that we would probably recognize. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. Because you support this channel, you allow me to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. This is a guy I've wanted a long time, and it's unfortunate. But I know he wants to get a head coaching position, and maybe it's good that he doesn't come here, because a year from now, we might be talking about getting a new defensive coordinator, but we also could be talking about it with a Super Bowl. Kind of sucks, man, but wishing Robert the best.